Black Power, Black Beauty, Black by popular demand. This is Black's History Month, a 28-day celebration of Black exploitation films. One of the things that sometimes makes Black's History Month hard to pull off every year is that even though there's an abundance of black movies that were being produced in the 70s, like a whole lot of them, not every movie survived the era. I can't even begin to tell you how many times I wanted to talk about a particular movie, and it was either impossible for me to find or hard to find a decent quality copy. And you know I'm all about quality here at the Black Man Cave. So when I discovered that a previously thought lost film was not only found, but restored to 4K even, I had to look into the history and see what it was all about. Solomon Kane was written, produced, directed by, and stars Sal Watts. And although that's definitely not uncommon for black movies during this time, I just talked about Christopher St. John doing the same thing. Sal Watts is a bit of an anomaly in this situation because of the fact that he didn't really want to make movies at first. Sal Watts was an Oakland, California businessman first and foremost, and actually had to be kinda talked into making a movie. If I had to compare him to anybody, it would be Rudy Ray Moore and what he did to finance Dolomite. Only here's Watts doing it a whole year earlier. Watts used money from his businesses and what he collected from the community to create what he considered would be an anti-blaxploitation film. Yeah, that's what they all say, but it has almost all the elements of those type of films. From here, there is very little known about the box office results or how the movie came to be lost after all these years. But in the early 2020s, just by chance, someone stumbled upon a badly damaged print of the film, and not only that, even found the original audio track negative, which Sal Watts' widow kept after all this time. From that, the people over at Deaf Crocodile Films were able to restore most of the movie, but at the beginning of the Blu-ray, you're met with a disclaimer that mentions the original negative is lost forever. So because what they had to work with was so damaged, there are some jump cuts and other issues that they couldn't do anything about. Now from my perspective, the transfer is excellent in my opinion. How they managed to get it to look so good with what they had to work with should be applauded. I attributed all the weird jump cuts just down to bad editing from a first-time filmmaker with no experience, which a lot of it is, if we're being honest. And you can hardly tell there's anything wrong with the print. So you're probably wondering, was Solomon Kane even worth being restored after all these years? For me, the short answer is yes. But that's only because I like the lore behind them trying to find it and the history more than some others. And I like the story behind the movie and the fact that it missed out on being remembered for so long because of it being lost. The movie itself is absolutely nothing special. Sal Watts plays former Green Beret Solomon Kane, and just like any other super Negro from the time, he's made out to be infallible and indestructible. You can't outsmart him, no siree.
What the hell you guys doing following me?
Is there a plot? Yeah, somewhat. Solomon Kane somehow ended up with some oil fields in the Middle East. Nowhere specifically, because he did a king a favor. We never found out what exactly, but apparently the deal also included the king's daughter, who's Solomon's girlfriend. But the king also has a son, who unsurprisingly doesn't vibe with the idea of not only his legacy going to Solomon, a guy who's a king in name only, but also his sister being given away too. So after killing his father, he makes plans to kill both the princess and Solomon to take control of the oil fields. I know you're kinda lost on how a movie with kings, princesses, and oil fields takes place in Oakland, but stick with me. Solomon brings the princess back to the States, and almost immediately, she's shot down by an assassin and dies in Solomon's arms. And she actually got some decent character development at first. From here, it's best to talk about Solomon Kane as a series of moments, because nothing about the movie ever really flows together. Like in Dolomite, stuff just happens. But unlike Dolomite, Sal Watts doesn't have the charisma or screen presence to keep it entertaining.
Wait a fucking minute. Those son of bitches didn't have no credentials when they shot O'Neill.
Like when the princess dies, the movie doesn't want you to process shit. It jumps immediately to the club that Solomon owns and shows him moving on less than 24 hours later with a woman from the club played by Tanya Boyd from Black Heat and Black Shampoo. She's not even credited or seen again. Her presence in the movie is pointless aside from the mandatory lengthy sex scene. Then there's the scene where Solomon and his friend Manny are searching for the hitman, and in one of their funnier interactions, they stumble upon a reverend at a dead-end lead.
What do you do?
Nothing much. What you do besides eat?
Well, I'm a preacher. I preach the gospel. But what y'all gonna do to him when you find him?
We just gonna talk to him, Rare.
Don't do like that to me where y'all come busting in with pistols, man. I thought, sure y'all gonna hold me up.
Sorry to disturb you, Rare.
Good Lord, ain't this something? Just break open your room, come in there.
Why was it this reverend specifically? Did he just ask for a spot in the movie and Sal decided, hey, why not? Might as well just put the whole city on. Oh, and the fights. What to say about the fights? In wrestling, they would say that he didn't get all of it. And yeah, no shit. But at the same time, I'm a sucker for badly made movies by passionate people, especially ones from the 70s. It's just something about people who have no business making films, but then turn around and make the best of whatever they have to work with. Yeah, it's a pure vanity project, but Sal Watts did something that a lot of other people, myself included, probably will never do in their lives, and he created something that lives on in people's minds enough to justify a $30,000 Kickstarter and a restoration project. And despite what you might think about the quality, his dream gets a chance to survive forever when at one point it could have been lost to all eternity.